Hey, everybody, I'm Chris Metzler, one of the programmers here at SF DocFest. For 23 years, we've been bringing you some most interesting, unusual, and just great documentaries around the world to the Bay Area. We're lucky enough to kind of have the filmmakers here for My Own Normal, Alexander Freeman, the director, and Brian Golden, one of the producers. Welcome, guys.
Great to be here. Hello. It's so good to be here. And talking with you.
Cool. Well, this one is kind of exciting when we ran into this in submissions. And one of the questions I imagine most people have is that what kind of inspired you that you wanted to kind of be able to share your story, on film, Alex?
Yeah. So, I guess, the film took a lot of different turns. Um, it it started off as a film. Um, I, I started it off making a film about different heroes destroyed, and then it kind of transitioned into a more personal story. And eventually it kind of became my own novel. But that happened in the editing process. And really, what inspired me is that, I I really want to give people an inside look into not only life as someone with a disability, but I want to give people an inside look into what it's like as a father with a disability, and also a partner with a disability. And I, I guess I want to show that no matter what, it can work. Um, the I I feel like people have a lot of questions about whether it can work with a disability, whether there are a lot of questions people have about being a partner with a disability and a father with a disability. So I decided to really open up my entire life, and I, and I want to give hope to people, um, and show people that it really can work. Um,
I definitely think that hope-filled message is like definitely the subtext of it, and it's a great to love is such an important part of our lives. Is there something during the making of the movie that most surprised you, or that was an unexpected challenge creatively based on the way that you wanted to approach kind of crafting the story?
yeah. So, um, yeah. So is in the film, there is the constant theme of what what is really a motif in the film.
Nice sitting for the movie star.
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
Sorry.
and and so that whole theme of what really came out of the editing. And one of the things that happened was that my editor Michelle asked me a question, and she said, "What you afraid of?" And it really took me a minute, and I was like, "Huh, what what am I afraid of deep down?" Because we all are afraid of something. Yeah, and if we are not, then it's something wrong. But I said I am afraid of what very much so. So then my editor Michelle was like, "Oh, I can work with that. Let's let's go into that more." And so that how that came about, and that was one of the one of one of the things that happened that I did not foresee, but it ended up becoming such a huge part of the film.
Yeah, and we just had so much footage. I mean, you wouldn't believe we probably had like thousands of hours. And so
Yeah.
crafting this film, we just had to figure out what is the story to tell. And not everybody had that vision. And Michelle, who, we'll mention several times in this interview, I'm sure, literally crafted it into this piece of art, from the motifs to
Yeah.
the narrative plot line. So I guess what surprised me the most is, how someone was able to take all that footage and kind of like compress it into what it is. It's a piece of art, quite frankly. And you can't foresee that, especially when you're making a documentary of how things are gonna piece together. I mean, a lot of this stuff that happened was live. I mean, we didn't even know that Alex was having a girl when we started filming this for the first time, so we kind of just let the documentary tell itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sitting with the movie.
And what often what's discussed in like documentaries is like trust building, and when you make a personal documentary that involves your film and you have outsiders that are part of the team, what was there any point in time when your family was just like, were they excited about making the film, or were there times where they're just like, we don't want this part of the film, or just like decided to film and then figure it out in the editing room? Like, what was that process like of collaboration?
Yeah. So so my family was actually not they were not always supposed to be in the film. It kind of having over the course of making it. And they were not very, they were not totally happy.
AK, we
They,
had to beg them.
yeah, yeah, they were, we kind of, yeah, Brandon's right. So it took some convincing. Um, we both said, please, please be in the film. Um, you are such a big part of the story, and they they were against it at first, and then after a while they agreed to be in it. Um, I I don't think that they are totally happy with how they come off in the film. Um, because I did confront them on camera, as you saw. And I wanted, I, I, I purposely did it that way, because I wanted to get their raw reaction, the raw emotion.
Mm,
So what you see in the film is not, is not actually, it's not, it's not, it's not lifted at all. That the actual reaction. Um, and I I wanted to do it that way because I wanted her to feel kind of the emotion that I felt, uh, and their emotion as well. Their
mm.
reaction. Um, and so one of the things, one of the things that we did was we we asked a whole bunch of questions before before we got to that question. Um, um, so that was done on purpose so that I could get, so that I could get that.
I just want to say thank you for letting me sit with you.
Oh, thank you.
And our last name don't ever change. And don't ever give up, okay? I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
In the spotlight today.
So cute.
Thank you.
So
Bye.
maybe a big question for both of you is also, so Brian, at what point in time in the collaboration process did you go, and what was Alex's kind of mandate of like, what was his kind of vision for the film, and how did that what were some of the kind of ways that you approached it to make sure that you had the footage that was needed to edit together?
Yeah, I mean, and that's a great question. So first of all, I have to mention this is that Alex originally didn't even want to be the main subject for the film when we first started it. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. I do not want to get in it at all. That's absolutely right because sorry to cut you off, but um, but I think it important to say, but the reason why I didn't want to read about me is because one, I didn't think I was that that interesting. But also, uh, I didn't want it to become sort of a self-centered. Um, yeah, I didn't want to look self-centered because that's not who I am. Um, and I sort of feel like documentaries about other people and a lot of other topics are more important. But eventually, I said, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, Alex and I have known each other for about 10 years now. And when I first met him, it was at Emerson College, which we both attended. And everybody was like giving intros of who they are. And one person's like, I want to be Steven Spielberg, I want to be Wes Anderson. And then I heard Alex, and I'm like, this is a guy I'm working with. This is a guy that is interesting in the room. Let's make movies together. And so we made several films together, and it was the last year of Emerson, and we talked about this idea, which was then Castable, which, as Alex said before, is a movie about, getting a job if you have a disability in the film industry. And it's just, Alex won't say it, but Alex just has the most radiant personality. And, as we got the thousands of hours of footage, it wasn't even like it should be about Alex, or if it was about Alex, it just had to be about Alex. It's just such a radiant personality. Everything that he said was with such, and you can see it now. He's just so passionate, and his story was human. It's like, it just naturally became what it is. So I guess to answer your question, it was just such a natural, gradual process. And how many years has it been? 7 years now since we started?
7 years, yeah.
So, I mean, it really blossomed from like, our friendship and just like knowing each other, having the good, bad conversations. And that's why it comes off so real, because it is. Though, and I think one of my favorite parts is that a lot of what happens in the film is foreshadowed by previous interviews. So
Mm.
Alex is talking
Yeah.
about, his dream wedding, for example, and you'll hear voiceover over that. That's all filmed years before his wedding. When he's talking about his
Oh, wow.
dream wedding, that was not him afterwards.
No, just don't here. Yeah, yeah, Brandon is actually right. So that was actually shot a couple of years before
Oh,
it
wow.
happened. Oh, so, 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 um, in the, in, in, in a sense, it was foreshadowing what was going to happen. And then, and then, and then it happened.
That's it something. He manifested his own life through this documentary.
I did.
Well, and I think this is the thing that I always try to remind our audiences too, is that, being a documentary filmmaker is like a quest of endurance,
Yeah.
and you had a vision, and filmmakers, they have to be patient, and there's something about the camera being around for a long enough period of time to capture the kind of nuances in the story, which I think the film does so well. Before we wrap up, I always kind of remind our audiences at home that we're lucky enough to have filmmakers like you all share their films early on in their lifespans. And so our job is for the films we like to go talk about it after the screening over drinks or at work the next day, but also online and social media. So Brian and Alex, can you tell us what's the best way to kind of continue to follow the film's effort and kind of spread the word? Where should we point people to?
Yeah, sure. So, they can go to my own normal movie.com. And I'm going to say that. I'm going to say that again just so that people get it. It's my own normal movie.com. And there you can find out more information. You can connect with us on social media. You can find out more about who's behind the film, and you can get in touch with us directly through that website. But you can also follow us on Instagram at my own normal and find us on Facebook at my own normal. Also, in addition to that, if you are interested in the other projects that I'm working on, they can go to my company website, which is outcast productions.com. And just to let you know, it a hyphen between outcast and productions.com. So that where people can go. Brendan, do you want jump in?
Yeah, just if you like what you see, we're more than happy to be in touch with you. And thank you so much for watching our little documentary. It means a lot to us.
Well, nice job, guys. We'll look forward to seeing more of the next ones, and glad it's great when these different kind of relationships develop in college, and all the different kind of creative outpourings since then. Well, have a great day, guys, and look forward to catching up with you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Talk
so
with you.
much.